evening, everyone, and welcome to the November 5th Joliet City Council meeting. The Honorable Robert Odekirk presiding. Tonight, our invocation will be given to us by Pastor Lazarick Hudson, Holy Trinity Ministries, 1105 Bertrand Boulevard in Sherwood. He will also lead us into the pledge, so please remain standing.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day that you have blessed us with. We ask that as we come to the close of another year, you would have us to reflect upon the many blessings that you have showered upon the citizens of Joliet. Give us a heart of thanksgiving and appreciation. I pray that you would guide the hearts and minds of our mayor and city council members to always make the best decisions for this great city. We ask that you protect all of our city employees daily, especially our police officers and firefighters. Thank you for your love, your mercy, and your grace. All these things we ask in your great name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Damn phone going off over here. Yeah, I know it. What's that right there?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I was looking fair.
Begin with roll call. Mayor Odekirk.
Here.
Councilman Dickinson.
here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Hugg.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
First on the agenda this evening is a presentation, the Joliet Police Explorers, the recognition for their recent awards.
Good evening. We're here to recognize the Joliet Police Explorer Post 220 for their accomplishments at the 2019 Illinois Law Enforcement State Competition. There are 14 competitions and our two teams went to 9 competitions each. There were 26 different agencies and over 200 explorers participated. The Joliet Police Explorer Post 220 received the following awards: 4th place in accident investigation, 2nd place in field sobriety test, 2nd place in felony suspect arrest, 1st place in rapid response, 1st place in building search, and 1st place in Hogan's Alley. Also, 2 individual awards were received. Explorer Sergeant Alfonso Sanchez received 4th place overall for the power test, and Lieutenant Jose received the Advisor of the Year award.
Congratulations.
Finally, the goal of the Police Explorers is to have youth who have interest in law enforcement and the military move on from being youth, being productive members of society. Since we last came 2 years ago, we have had 1 member join the United States Marine Corps, 1 member become a Harris County Sheriff's Deputy, 2 members become Will County Sheriff's Officers, 2 members become Metro Police Officers, and finally, and most important, we've had 3 members become Joliet Police Officers. The Joliet Police Explorer Post 220. If we could, Mayor, take a photo with
Yep,
that.
thank you.
Mayor, can I ask a question?
On the
What is
microphone.
Hogan's Alley?
On the microphone. What is Hogan's Alley?
Hogan's Alley is a shoot, don't shoot drill where the explorers go through. It's similar to something that officers do where they will go through and they have to make quick determinations on what is the correct procedure as they go through.
Excellent job. Nice job. Okay. No, I'm not familiar with it, no. No, you're fine. Jerry, can you do something? Hey, Dad, can you do something about the glare?
I do them like this.
Yeah.
A little bit over there.
Thank you. Thanks. Good work.
Them are my little volunteers. They come to help me out at this. Good deal. Yes, very good.
Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written with the following change? Under award of contracts, vote separately on Council Memo 576-19, which is the request for authorization to approve a professional services agreement for legal representation related to ethics investigations and related matters.
So moved.
Second?
It's been motioned and seconded to approve the motion. The agenda is written with the separate vote on Council Memo 576-19 under award of contracts. Councilman Dickinson?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye?
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on an agenda item this evening?
Mary Beth Gannon, 903 Western. You know, I watched the meeting last night, and if you go to time code 1032, you can hear Mr. Jones right after Mr. Hug asked him about if there were any controversial issues surrounding Ansel Glink. And your response was, certainly not within the last 5 or 6 years. Let me refresh your memory. Refer to Chicago Tribune article from February 18th, 2015, about a controversial payment while you were working in Oswego to Ansel Glink. So I'm not sure if you left that out on purpose or it was just a slip. This law firm, to me at least, and maybe some others, is questionable. With the exception of 2 of you sitting up there, all of you were here when the mayor decided to hire Chris Regis, and in the capacity he was hired to do. Let Mr. Regis do his job. Don't encumber it, and don't have interference. Whatever he finds, he finds. If it's nothing, it's nothing. If it's something, it's something. Let the process carry out. I find it very troubling that we have an interim city manager here who is, to me, less than truthful. Please consider what is going on here. You are going to be paying a law firm hundreds and hundreds of dollars an hour, likely. And it's going to be my money and his money and her money and their money. Stop wasting our money. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item? Next is council committee reports. First is the Public Service Committee report.
The Public Service Committee met here at City Hall yesterday afternoon at 4:30 in the executive conference room to my right. On the committee is Councilwoman Gavin, Councilman Morris, and myself. At the committee meeting yesterday, it was a short agenda, pretty routine. We approved the purchase of motor fuels for 2020. got a good price, came in way under the estimate. We had some damage around the city, including this area at of the Thorn Creek retaining wall that has to be repaired because of the heavy rainfall we had, the 6-inch rain we recently had. And we bought salt this year that went up from $50-some last year to 90-some, but that's the price that we must pay. Other than that, we had some change order payments and final payments that were reviewed. We found everything to be in order. All items were unanimously sent forward with the committee recommendation that the full council do approve it. And I believe that's my report, unless I missed something.
Nope, I think you covered it.
Okay, that's my report, Mayor.
Thank you.
Next is the Ad hoc City Manager Search Committee report.
I'll give the report. We've met twice. The committee is myself, Councilman Turk, and Councilwoman Quillman. We've met with city staff. We had city attorney present, as well as Kathy Franz, our HR director. We were initially presented 25 resumes for people who put in for the job. From that, through the vetting process, the committee agreed on 6 candidates coming forward for interview. Upon the background search being, begun by our HR director, one of the candidates, I can't say didn't meet the criteria, but there were things that popped up that eliminated that person from the process. So there now are 5 members left. I believe everyone on the council has gotten a copy of those 5 resumes, as well as a list of the people who were passed over. Is that correct? Okay. So we're hoping to, right now we're in the background check process and checking the credentials or what's been listed by the 5 candidates. We're hoping to have another meeting within the next 30 to 45 days and then begin the interviewing process. I would add, we have upcoming water meetings that are going to be outside of City Council, as well as budget meetings, which I anticipate we're going to have in the next 30 or 60 days. So we got a busy schedule, but the goal was to have a candidate chosen by the end of the year if possible. With the holidays, with traveling, and with the winter weather, I'm not sure if that's feasible or not, but that's what we're shooting for. And I would remind, everyone on the council, this process is confidential. There's a liability issue for the city if names of these candidates are leaked. They all, or presumably they all are currently employed, and that the idea that they're looking for another job could hurt their current employment. So for that reason, I know media members have called me several trying to get specific names, but we can't say those, and I would urge others in the council to show restraint with that. Otherwise, it's all I have. Kathy, anything to add to that? Any questions? Thank you.
I show no other reports. Under consent agenda, approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the combined council meeting held on October 15th, 2019 stand approved as recorded. And Council Memo 567-19, position vacancies. It's recommended the city manager be authorized to fill 1 part-time parking deck attendant, 1 police patrol officer position, and 1 fire chief, and any subsequent vacancies which may occur. Is there a motion to approve said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on, under resolutions, Council Memo 569-19, a resolution accepting a permanent easement and a temporary construction easement for PIN 050626400011 for the Hobart Road Water Main Extension Project. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 570-19 is a resolution approving an addendum agreement with the Illinois Department of Transportation for the U.S. Route 6 at Gauger Road Intersection Improvement Project. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 571-19, a resolution declaring certain City of Joliet property as surplus. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under award of contracts, Council Memo 573-19, award contracts for the purchase of motor fuels 2020 bid 2447-1119. Council Memo 574-19, award a contract for the repair of the Thorn Creek retaining wall at Midland Avenue and Woodland Drive, And Council Memo 575-19, approve the 2019-2020 rock salt purchase contract with the State of Illinois and Compass Minerals. Oh my goodness. It's recommended Council Memos 573-19 through 575-19 be approved.
So moved. Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 576-19, approve a professional services agreement for legal representation related to ethics investigations and related matters.
Can I make a comment before you even talk about this?
Yeah, as long as it's not related to this.
Well, it is, because I did ask you earlier today, I thought it'd be a conflict if I or myself, the mayor, even voted on this, but I also asked, since there were witnesses in this case, Councilman Turk and Councilman Dickinson, if they should even be voting on this.
So there's two people that definitely have a vested interest in this, and I'll get to this in a minute. But as for the witnesses in this, generally witnesses don't have a vested interest in who's investigating. So, like I said, vested interest versus not vested interest.
So I have a vested interest in
Yeah,
this.
you have a vested interest because you have a vested interest in the outcome of what's
I have not
happening.
even seen the complaint. I have not even been able to confront my accuser. And so, I guess with this memo, I'm having to step off the dais. Sorry, taxpayers, but I will be retaining my own legal counsel in this matter because I need to defend my reputation here.
So Councilwoman Gavin, I'm addressing you because you're the
I am
Chair
Mayor Pro Tem.
So essentially, what we have, if you look at it like a big picture, is there's two council members that have they would, if you look at it, like I said, a big picture, they'd be voting on the person that's investigating them. So in order to avoid the perception and appearance of any type of impropriety, the recommendation is for them to step down and not participate in the discussion on this and then be absent from the vote. So for purposes of this, there's 7 members and the majority would be 4
Okay.
for passage.
Alrighty. So the motion has been read.
There is no motion.
No, there's no motion on it.
Mayor Pro Tem, some discussion?
Yes. Go right ahead.
First of all, I said my piece yesterday as far as doing or paying taxpayer dollars for an outside redundant agency. We have 2 exceptionally qualified attorneys in our legal department as well as a former top prosecutor in State's Attorney Jim Glasgow's office as an Inspector General. With that said, we are a council manager form of government, and the city manager can do it without our approval. That would lead me to my first question, since Steve Jones is asking for a formal approval of this contract, then that would indicate that you anticipate it to be in excess of $20,000 because you have authority up to $20,000. Would that be a fair statement, Steve?
I'm doing it in case it gets to that level.
Couldn't we
Obviously,
have waited till we got to that level?
well, I'd rather plan it so that everybody knows what's going on, so there's some form of transparency that could happen. I'd rather not tell a council that oh, we have to increase it, we're 90% in, but you have to come up with additional funding. I'd rather that this be planned and something that's on the list of possibilities.
The other, second question I have is, in looking at the attachment for the contract for the law firm you've chosen, there seems to be no defined scope of services. At this point, we have 2 elected officials that have been accused of unethical behavior by an employee. Are they going to be investigating just that?
Well, you
What's
know.
the scope of services? There's
you
no
know-
definition.
You know from information I've given to the council that there are a number of other areas that are included in this. I think the broad verbiage of that scope of service encompasses what I previously gave to council that gets into some more specific information.
Now, did we also approach our own legal department and get a legal opinion on whether or not we could have done it with our qualified staff that some are claiming are quote-unquote conflicted out? Marty, did you have an opinion as the corporation counsel?
Well, what I can say is I have not been handed a list of the complaints that are being investigated.
Yeah, I don't have the scorecard either. There's so much going on in the last 4.5 months. I couldn't tell you other than what I just stated with the 2 elected officials and the 1 employee. We all hear, both ourselves up here and the public, about investigations and counter-investigations, and I don't know who's not being investigated, I guess. It would be a good question. So then, was there an outside opinion gotten from a law firm to determine whether or not we needed an outside law firm, Steve? In other words, did you go to a law firm and ask them, look at this, on the surface, is there a conflict that would require us to go outside? Did that happen?
No.
So you made that decision on your own with the advice of our own attorneys?
As I said yesterday, I had chats with our ethics officer who's responsible for processing the ethics complaints, and we had a chat about how we would proceed with this. And as a result of that discussion, we decided that it was best for us to use outside counsel.
And what limit have you put on financially as a budget for this? I mean, could it be 20, 100, $1 million? I mean, how far does it go? With no scope of services defined,
Right.
how far does it go?
As we start it, we will work to get to that level. Obviously, and again, I'll send you a copy of that email again because it did go out to you, so you know exactly what that scope is, or you were sent that scope. Obviously, as we start some discussions, could it get into other areas? Sure. I mean, I don't expect the Mueller report here, but I think it's our responsibility to deal with the 2 ethics issues. And as I've described it publicly and privately, some of those high-profile personnel issues that have caused some consternation here at the council table, as well as between police department and city hall.
Right, and the email you're referring to was just a general overview. The only names that have been presented to us here in that email or in the executive session have been the mayor and Councilwoman Quillman. So I don't know what I'm hiring or approving the hiring of someone to investigate who, what, where, and when. No, that wasn't in the email. It was a general.
It was a review of certain areas which involved some individuals.
Right, which I don't know who all the individuals are.
Well, it was in that email,
So, with that said, it's your right to hire them. And if you stay under 20,000, you don't need our position. I'm not here to talk you out of it. If that's what you think you have to do as the city manager, that is your choice as a council manager form of government.
Yeah.
I stand by what I said yesterday. Any small hint or whiff of controversy should be avoided after all the controversy we've been through for the last 4.5 months, and I don't think this law firm meets that test.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Let me respond to your question. Yes. Yesterday, I talked about a global issue, and since you're kind of pressing this issue, I'll talk about it. When we made our decision to go with an outside firm, it was around the time when I was starting to solicit opinions from elected officials and some of the staff members who had been involved in some of these issues. It became very clear that many elected officials feel that there is not sufficient independence and objectivity within our legal department. Staff members feel that, and I feel that. So ultimately, that's the reason that this is being done.
I don't know who those people are. Many. Anonymous staff, I don't know who they are. Okay.
All right.
Let me throw out something that was stated earlier. It was kind of interesting yesterday when Councilman Hug talked about the Oswego thing. It's like, I didn't remember any of that. And then as soon as he came over to the dais after the council meeting and showed me the article, as soon as I saw the picture, it's like, oh, of course. There was an election dispute that involved our city clerk, the mayor, and our city attorney. And since it didn't directly affect me, I was like, okay, out of sight, out of mind. But one of the things that was asked of me last night was to investigate, what happened there. And I think Councilman Hug's comment was that it's my understanding that this legal firm had some controversial issues with the village of Oswego that I think wound up in court with overcharging. Neither of those two things were true. In effect, there was no court based on the council voted 4-3 to delay payment on until there was an explanation of timing of the release of a legal opinion. And in effect, it was paid the next day. In fact, I'm told that Oswego actually uses Ansel Link to this day. So I did give the council a copy of the minutes from the Oswego meetings to just clarify that. So there wasn't anything in Oswego that would lead me to believe that there's some propensity for overbilling or some sort of problem with the firm.
No, the
But I'm sorry for
clarification.
not remembering.
Well, actually, Steve, when I came over there, you're right, I did show it to you on my iPad. A member of the media was standing right next to us because I interrupted that interview.
I'm sorry.
You're absolutely right that I came over and showed it to you after the meeting, and a member of the media was standing there. And when I showed it to you, you said, oh, yeah, I do know about that, but that happened after I left, which wasn't accurate. You were still there, and you were in the article.
Yeah, and that's why I said the village clerk was being represented by Ansel Blink. Our community was represented by Otteson Britz, which was our law firm. And since really the case involved the election authority and the election board, I really wasn't part of it, but I got involved because I was basically mediating between the village president, the village attorney, the election board, and the city clerk. So, my involvement was trying to get everybody to come together and find some way that this thing could find a resolution.
And the clarification, and it was not based on the billing, you're 100% right. It was based on what some people might say, a misappropriated information, or, some people could view it as a leak. Under normal circumstances, you can move past it. This city has been through hell the last 4.5 months. And the fact that they gave the report to private people, private parties, private attorneys before they gave it to their client, the city, that we can't have that happen here.
Okay, I'm done. Okay. Councilman Mudger.
My opinion, based on everything that has happened, and there is tension between different groups here, and I do feel we have an excellent legal staff and also in Steve Jones, but it would not be fair to have them do the investigation with the outcome being challenged then by the party who felt they were wronged. So I of the opinion that an outside firm is needed for this, a budget is needed, or to be controlled, there's no question there. But with that in mind, I think a firm like Ansel Glick, who I've heard nothing but good things about, I think should be hired.
Okay. Anybody else? Don? You got anything? Terry, got anything?
Not really. I guess I just see it to a certain extent, and I hear Pat, I hear Larry, so I don't know, and I think I've said before, no matter who we bring in to do it, one side is gonna feel they were wrong one way or the other. So basically, I just think it's a waste of time and money, and I think we should have been past this point, and again, without knowing what really they're being accused of, other than an ethic violation. But what was ethically done wrong? Because I haven't heard, to my knowledge, anything. But again, that's my opinion. Thank you.
All right. Councilwoman?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. Councilman?
Hey, Councilwoman, can I clarify something?
Yes.
I think Councilman Mudron kind of said it best with respect to the legal department. I would disagree, and I want to clarify that there's been non-objectivity with the legal department. So I just want to clarify that. I mean, that'd be news to me. So I think you said it more eloquently. So I hope that's what we meant.
Right. Good deal. Okay. Having discussion closed now.
It's being recommended Council Memo 576-19, approve a professional services agreement for legal representation related to ethics, investigations, and related matters be approved. Is there a motion?
Second.
It's a motion seconded to approve. Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
No?
Councilman Morris.
No.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman is absent for this vote. Motion carries.
With that resolution passing, I just want to remind all of us, including myself up here, every $150,000 we spend is 3/4 of a mile of new sidewalk the residents don't get.
Moving on, under amendments, change orders, and
You
payments.
can come back, Jen.
I don't want to.
And I just want, for those that aren't watching, I just wanted the record to show that Mayor Odekirk and Councilwoman Coleman did step down from the dais and were absent for the previous vote. Just want to make sure the record shows that in the minutes. So, under amendments, change orders, and payments, Council Memo 578-19, approve payment for emergency repair of Bush Road storm damage. Council Memo 579-19, approve change order number 1 and payment request number 2 and final for the 2019 Hickory Spring Creek cleaning project. Council Memo 580-19, approve payment for ViewWorks Asset Management Annual Hosting, Maintenance, and Technical Support. Council Memo 581-19, approve change order number 2 for the 12D Water Tower Reconditioning Project. And Council Memo 582-19, approve change order number 2 and payment request number 2 for the Meta Avenue, 2nd Avenue, North End, Pearl Street, Campbell Street to Western Avenue Roadway Improvement Project, CDBG 2019. It's recommended Council Memos 578-19 through 582-19 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilman Dickinson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye?
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the city manager's report.
I just have one item, and as everyone knows, we have a budget coming up, and it's probably the second most important thing I've been working on over the last few months. We want to give you a little bit of a general timeline. All the departments have submitted their materials. We've had general reviews with those departments, and we expect getting a copy of the budget to the council on the 19th of November. We're thinking about 2 potential dates for budget workshops, which would be Monday, the 25th of November, as well as Monday, the 11th of December. The public hearing for the budget would be on the 16th of December, and then final budget and the levy adoption would be on the 17th. I could tell you flat out that this is going to be a very challenging budget. There are a number of expenses that have come in that we really don't have much choice on, and some of our revenues aren't trending where we would like them to be. So we'll be having some real serious discussions. Plus, there are a number of capital things that we've kind of addressed with the council and some workshops at committee levels to discuss as well. So if you could, please check those dates. And if the 25th of November and the 11th of December work, we could certainly lock those in when we do the distribution of the budget. So, did I say the budget was going to be challenging?
Next is new business, not for final action or recommendation.
I have nothing, sir.
Quick question. Steve, we're a little bit behind than normal by a week or 2 at least on getting through the budget process. You and I had talked about that about a week and a half ago. Can you kind of tell us why we're behind on the budget process?
You want to address that, Joe?
budget was presented on the same meeting as last year.
Did you just say the 25th you wanted to do it?
On what, I'm sorry?
What date do you want to have it?
Well, we would give it to council on the 19th.
I'm not talking about the final vote, I'm talking about having a preliminary budget. You and I just talked about
On the
that.
19th. That's when
You
we
and I
would
just
pass
talked
it
about
out.
that, and you said you couldn't get around to it. You'd only interviewed two department heads a week and a half ago.
Oh, internally, I'm sorry, I thought you
Right.
meant with regard to council. I mean, the process has been going on with the departments. I've been tied up with other things, as we all well know.
Right, so that's my point.
I'm sorry, I thought you meant the council.
No, and the same would be in regards to the economic development, which is all but dead right now. I think you put it to me on the phone that we're playing, what did you say, we're waiting for people to come to us because we don't have the ability anymore to go out like we have been doing for 4 years.
Yeah, our proactive, having two people working within economic development allowed us to do proactive plus project work. And in effect, I think our proactive portion of the show has basically been decreased. Derek's doing double duty. I'm still involved in economic development, but clearly we're not operating under the same horsepower that we were 6 months ago.
No, with everything that's gone on, with you being put in the position now, Phil, what have we had in the last 5 months? Two economic development meetings, and none of it has included any new projects. It was all tying up loose ends from projects that started a year and a half ago, a year ago. So what's going on in economic development? You made the prediction yourself when you were first approached about being interim. You said 30 days, you could probably make it work. Once you get to 30 to 45 days, economic development's going to suffer. It's suffering. It's been well beyond 45 days, not your control. It's been well beyond 45 days. Maybe we need to look at bringing in another economic development director to pick up the pace. Is my suggestion to the council for consideration.
Well, if I can add, there's no question we've fallen off. Last 4 years, $1.4 billion in new investment in Joliet. I haven't seen the numbers for this year, but we're nowhere near that. So the city's taken a big step backwards. It's unfortunate, and I'm going to address Mr. Jones when I get a chance to speak, but I think there's council members and myself that are actively trying to put the last couple of months behind us and move the city forward. I think as a group, we really need to show some resolution. I haven't seen the numbers, but you keep telling us how bad they're going to be, and that's not good for the people of Joliet. It's certainly not what we were all elected to do. So, but Councilman, you're right about the economic development. It's fallen completely off the cliff.
That's all I have.
Terry?
Yeah, nothing.
Pep? Jan?
No.
Jerry? Mike? Couple things. Tomorrow morning, there'll be an I-80 coalition meeting for the group that was put together by John Grueling and the Center of Economic Development. And then tomorrow afternoon from 4 to 7, there's going to be a public hearing on the I-80 project. This one tomorrow will be at the Rock Creek Boulevard Holiday Inn out west at Hobolt Road and I-80. And then there's going to be another public hearing tomorrow or Thursday at All Nations Church of God at 503 South Water. So I would encourage anyone who is interested or wants to speak about this project to try to attend one of those two meetings. And that's all I have for new business. Krista?
This is public comments. First is Drew Zazowski and Mike Hansen.
Good evening. Drew Zazowski with Thornton's. For the record, the address is 2600 James Thornton Way, Louisville, Kentucky, 40245. You may remember the name. I'm sure you're all familiar with the Thornton's project. I was here at the last session on October 15th when the City Council approved a three-party development agreement to relocate the Cassaday House located on East Jackson Street. The first milestone in that agreement was for the city to use its best efforts to bring to a vote a council memo approving certain licenses and permits for the Thornton store at tonight's meeting. And since I'm speaking during the public section, it's clear that that did not make the agenda tonight. This is despite Thornton's fully complying with our obligations under the development agreement, which included putting up over $300,000 into escrow. That money is sitting in a bank account right now, and applying for the licenses and permits the day after the agreement was approved on October 16th, as we said we would. Now, we fully understand that there are certain procedural tasks that must be completed by the city before city council can take action on those licenses. That's why I'm here tonight speaking to you. Thornton's has proposed an amendment to the development agreement to give the city until the end of the calendar year to follow the requirements that are outlined in the development agreement and section 413 of the Joliet Code of Ordinances, which outlines the procedures for such issuance of the licenses. This amendment was sent to the city attorney yesterday evening. It's been reviewed by Will County, the other member of the development agreement. Mike Hansen, who is representing Will County, is here in support of this amendment. So basically, it extends the outside date of the relocation of the house until April of next year to allow for more favorable weather conditions during the relocation effort, and also, in good faith, releases money from the escrow to the folks who are actively working on relocating this house. So all I'm here tonight to do is ask the city to follow the terms of the development agreement that was approved at the last meeting. We have accommodated all parties in this agreement. We're extending the deadline for the city to approve these licenses. And we hope that you'll approve this amendment at the next council meeting. We'll work through the particulars with the city attorney between now and November 17th. We'll pass the amendment, and then hopefully we can be back here towards the end of December and get the licenses approved. The money will be released. The house will be relocated. I think everybody wants that. I know there are folks in the audience here today that want that. I know everyone up here wants that. We want that. We've been very accommodating and just ask that you continue to work with us and work together to get this house relocated.
Your Honor?
Yes.
If I may. Marty, can I ask what happened?
What happened with what?
Why
Oh, he
didn't-
sent it yesterday evening. I mean,
Okay,
certainly
but-
I couldn't review it and get it to council before today, so.
Okay,
So the
but,
plan is to have it on the agenda for 2 weeks from today.
okay,
Just to clarify, what we sent last night was the amendment,
just,
right? The
the
amendment to
amendment
extend
was last
the
night,
the
but I
license
meant the
applications were sent.
the following up of our last meeting to go along with the application. That's basically what I was asking. What happened with that? That we couldn't get it on for this agenda?
Yes.
When we approved it, when we voted on it and it was approved for, at our last meeting,
Yes.
there were some steps to go forward so they can get your applications in. Am I correct?
That's correct, and those were submitted on the 16th.
On the 16th.
And
So that
actually, there was
wasn't
an
enough time.
addendum like a week ago, maybe? From the liquor license application, was it a week ago or so?
Yeah, there was an attempt to clarify something on the application, yes.
So now the application is complete.
It's all done now.
Now it's done.
This project is very important to our economic development as well.
Yes.
And so it seems like it's been pausing and, you know, just want to get the ball rolling.
We've laid out the steps that need to be done.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak under public comments?
Sorry for being up here twice, but, you know, my best friend lives in the Reedwood neighborhood, and there's been an extreme amount of crime in her neighborhood in the last year. It's just gone up and up. Kathy, if you're watching right now, you know. And she has asked over and over for a neighborhood police officer. And there's no money for that, but there's money to go on a fishing expedition here that could potentially malign two of the nicest, kindest people I know who are sitting up there and the most honest. We need to stop wasting money. I don't know what to say to get it through to you. You gotta quit wasting the money. You're gonna have another issue. You wanna get along and move forward. You're gonna have to decide on city manager. And I really ask that you would overcome any alliances and please pick the right person this time and set aside petty differences. And no more wasting money. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Julia Alexander. I reside at 1214 Rowell Avenue.
I am the president of the organization, including you. And I happen to have with me some of the most wonderful people in the city of Joliet. Could you all come on up here? All of including you. And we are standing before you. We are standing before you, Council, on today to inform you of the wonderful, wonderful works that has gone on for a second year. Number one, in 2016, the mayor and I and some of us spoke. 2017, we got the ball rolling. 2018, we're moving out. In 2019, I think we just, stepped into water. Yes. So we have just been doing wonderful works in the city of Joliet. But it's because of you, Mr. Mayor. Number one, you had the vision of inclusion and diversity. You had the vision to allow us to do what we're doing in the downtown Joliet. Not only do you have the vision, Mr. Mayor, you have dedicated your time, you have dedicated your finances, your office here at the city, as well as your law office. Mr. Mayor happened to have been our drummer this year, but I so appreciate you. You have stepped in and you have done everything that you said you were going to do in support of this organization and what we're doing and trying to do for the city of Joliet. So hats off to you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much. And then the rest of you all of you all up there, with an exception because you're new, I want to thank each and every one of you all. Krista, I can't tell you enough about your staff in your office and how they've done wonderful things. I only have 4 minutes, so let me really hurry up. And just everyone up here, all of you up here that supports, including you, because we are on a mission. And we are very serious about giving back to the community. We are very serious about putting our money where our mouth is. And each and every one of these people, fine people that's standing here with me, are most dedicated. Do we have our bumps? Yes, we do. But bumps, they are made to be fixed. Does our tires go on flat? Yes, they do. But we have air pumps. So, all these things, we are looking to go forward in despite of anything that's going on. Right now, what I'm really going to do is I'm going to thank a few people, and then Karen is going to tell the public what our mission is, and then we're going to move out of you all's way. First of all, as I stated, I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, your law office, as well as the city, your office at City Hall. Of course, we have to thank Mr. Terry Dorsey, has been a repeat major sponsor of ours for 2 years, so we really want to thank him. The Will County Speaker, Denise, Speaker of the House, Denise Winfrey, and Herbert Brooks. We want to thank the City Center Partnership, because that's what we have done. We partner with the City Center Partnership. Well, they sponsored us. We actually partnered with, let me slow down, United in Excellence, yeah, Larry, and we partnered with Times Weekly newspaper, and I am so proud, as well as the National Hookup of Black Women. So I am so proud to bring in even more partners on this year. We look forward to partnering with many other people, and we want to thank Midland Bank, First Midwest Bank, People Bank, Minor Morris Funeral Home, and we certainly want to thank each and every one of you out there that has donated your time, your finances, your prayers, whatever you've done out there, including you. Want to thank each and every one of you, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Mr. and Mrs. Etna and Sal Brass. They came on board with us in donation and sponsors last year, and they have just stuck with us. I believe Mr. Brass is somewhere in the house. Oh, as well as Mr. Ralph Bias, with People's Bank. And thank you, Mr. Bias. These are repeated people that believe in us,
as you all believe in us, we have a whole lot of fun doing what we're doing. So once again, Mr. Mayor, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. Karen is going to read our mission statement, and then we'll move out of your way.
Thank you.
For those of you that don't know, I'm going to let you know who Including You is. But I will say that it's fantastic to be involved with something good.
Yes.
It's wonderful to be involved with something good. Yes. Whether the flat tires or the floods or whatever, it's still something good. Including You mission, statement, and purpose: to empower, inspire, and educate. These core values enhance the self-esteem of a spirited Joliet community. Our purpose: to cooperate and collaborate in partnership with our great city of Joliet in promoting and enhancing a more diverse and inclusive community, providing resources to restore, empower, educate, and unite the community by strengthening knowledge, creating positive self-esteem, providing educational opportunities, promoting family, ministries, and businesses. This is Including You. Thank you.
Thank you.
Incidentally, but not really, I would just like to tell of what we have done, what accomplishments we've had. And with two city organizations we are so proud of, and we were able to donate $3,000 to the Boys and Girls Club this year as profits from our venture, and also to Betty Gavin, Forest Park Community Center. So
Thank you.
This year we're able to donate more and more and more. So we just want to thank you all. It means everything for your support, and to know that we got someone behind us, that we can say we are Joliet, we are working for the city, we are working for our people, because we are one community.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Great
if
work.
I might, before they leave, if I just might, again, I'd like to thank the mayor as well on this piece, because he did have a vision with that, and I remember talking to him about this a couple of years ago. But for you all to invest in your community and to bring together your community and ignite that fire, that is amazing. It is amazing. This, what you give is going to spill out over this city, and it is going to start new things. So continue to do what you do. I pray for you all every day, because it's a lot of work that you're doing, but what you're investing in is the residents and the families in this city, and you're reaching out to those that will be able to take that mantra forward. So thank you all so much for what you do. God bless.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Isaiah Williams. I'm the Vice President of Including You. For those that may not have had gotten a chance to come down and see this event that we had downtown, being in the background of it all, but to see it firsthand and see it right up front, I was blown away by our kids zone. Okay?
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of fun.
To see the interaction between our kids and their parents, who were all there too and stuff, and the games and the things that we had going on there, just messed me up. Okay, but alongside of that, there was good entertainment, there was good things, and it's only going to get better. But that's what's satisfying for me, and that's what keeps me going. We've been here from the beginning, and we'll be here now on. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Am I able to say one more thing?
Sure.
Okay, you all have cups that's in front of you. I have just been newly appointed to the board of the Illinois Route 66 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
All right.
And those cups that are in front of you are also invitations. I call it Ground Zero Tour. It's not going to be actually open to the public at this moment, but it is open to all of you at this moment. So please Ma'am, please, sir, it is November
16th.
Thank you. November 16th, 1 o'clock, right across the street, right over the street over there. So please come out and take a view at the economic development in the city of Joliet, because that's what it's, and then another something that's coming downtown to the city of Joliet for your pleasure. And one more thing, and then I know I have my 4 minutes are up. Chief Al Roshner, where's Roshner? I want to thank your staff, your police officers, for 2 years of just magnificent coverage. Larson, Captain Larson, he's been awesome. He's worked with us for 2 years, and he's just been awesome in guiding us. So hats off to you, Chief, and your staff over there. Okay, I'm done.
Julia? 2 things. Number 1, your 4 minutes was up 7 minutes ago.
Well, I thought if I stuck her up there, she can...
Where can people purchase those shirts? I like the T-shirts are cool. Is there a place people can purchase them?
To volunteer.
Union Signs.
You're not on the microphone. Union Signs and Printing?
Yeah.
And it's on Washington Street?
Dave.
Yes. Dave Strong.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Larry, I gave you a shirt last year.
Yeah, you gotta volunteer, you gotta wear this shirt.
You're beyond 11 minutes, Julia.
That's funny. Is there anyone else that would like to speak under public comments? Next is mayor and council comments.
Don?
I'd just like to say thanks to the Joliet Explorers program and all the city employees that showed up on a rainy Saturday for trunk or treat. It was a huge success. They didn't get to have the helicopter out there, but there were quite a few kids and parents out there, and everybody had a great time. So thank you.
Betty?
I'm good.
Larry?
Nothing.
Terry? Pat?
Yes. So there's still time, Thursday, November 7th, Project Acclaim, here at the Jacob Henry Mansions, starting at 6 p.m. The Hall of Pride introductions would be for the Joliet Slammers and Greater YMCA. Also then an award for a community project in the Old Prison Preservation Coalition.
Cam?
No comment.
Sherry?
Yes, I'm going to do Julia's 4 minutes. I usually don't say much, but I had some fun things go on these past couple of weeks. I got to be principal for the day for District 86 celebration that they do, I guess. And I was principal at Marshall Elementary for Lisa Marie Moreno. And they have kindergarten through 5th grade. And they may even, no, it's 5th. So the principal wanted me to do something with the 4th and 5th graders to talk about community service and community involvement. So what I did, there was 140 kids, it was 6 different classes. I brought a bunch of those tie blankets that were prepared to tie. And while the kids were talking, we were talking about how you could get involved in groups of, say, 10. They would sit on the floor and tie these blankets. And it, they have no idea why they're doing it. They're just doing it because they're doing it. And in the end, I told them that they did something for their community just while we were sitting here talking. And they wanted to know what. And I said, we're going to donate them to the Children's Advocacy Center. So the following week was Day of the Dead. And we had some 4th and 5th graders come, and they presented the blankets to State's Attorney Jim Glasgow came, and Sherry Johnson brought the comfort dogs, and Lisa Lass, and the kids all got to come up and see exactly what they were doing, and it all made sense to them that they gave back to their community. It was so simple. They just sat there enjoying it and working together, and it was really a cool event, and they really enjoyed it. So I really enjoyed it too. Another thing is I had a resident who is also a veteran contact me, and he was trying to see how we could get the community, the city, more involved in the Veterans Day celebration on November 11th. He was involved in at the 100-year celebration last year of the ringing of the bells. It's on November 11th at 11 a.m. they ring the bells 21 times. So he made me aware of this app, and of course, I'll tell you, the name of the app is Bells of Peace. I already put it on my phone, and what happens is it's automatically set. It's kind of like your alarm clock that you set. It's set to go off on 11/11 at 11 a.m. So if you'd like to be a part of it, it would be great if we could all participate. Just one more tribute to our veterans. And then lastly, 22 years ago today, I gave birth to my favorite son, my only one, Blake. So I want to say happy birthday to him. And that's it.
Mike?
Yeah, just wanted to give condolences to a couple of families who have lost loved ones in the last couple of weeks. One, the Thayer family, Mrs. Ann Thayer, passed away recently. Probably one of the kindest and most genuine person that I've ran into. She was very close to our former city clerk, Nancy Valera. When you see one, you've seen the other. And so I'm sure Nancy welcomed her with open arms. The other one is former Councilman Ed Aikman. He served on the Joliet City Council from 1979 to 1986. He served 2 terms. He was a District 2 council person, and didn't have a chance to serve with him, but knew him very well, and did a great job for the city, and a great family guy. So sympathy to both families.
Thank you. A couple comments. Number one, October 22nd, the African American Business Association had their 2nd annual dinner. It was a great night. I was glad to be there. Congratulations to everyone involved, including the African American Business Association, but also the Will County Chamber, or the Joliet City Chamber of Commerce, for their working with that group. It's a great group, and it's good to see them off and running. 10/24, there was a business after hours at Hawk Subaru. I didn't attend. I don't know who on the council did, but I heard great things about Hawk and what's going on there, so thank you for that. I had a meet and greet on October 25th with the new Harris GM, Norris Hamilton. He's been invited to an upcoming city council meeting. Chris, I think the next meeting, he's going to be on the agenda. So he will come and introduce himself to the council, welcome them to Joliet. On that same night, on the 25th and also on the 26th, the prison had their Night Behind Bars event. Councilman Dickinson, I know you were there working. I heard real positive feedback. It's something unique and different for what they do at the prison, where they had actors and live scenes being acted out. But really good turnout, good response, and thank you to the prison committee for all their hard work. And then finally, the City Center Partnership, on October 30th, myself and Derek Conley attended a meeting for the restaurant owners meeting in downtown Joliet regarding some of the plans that we had, and specifically regarding the food trucks that have been at the courthouse. So it was a good meeting. Thank you, Derek, for putting it on, and for City Center Partnership. I do want to wish all our veterans a happy Veterans Day, which is next Monday on November 11th. And then finally, Steve, I'm just going to keep it simple. I don't want to end on a bad note. I'm standing behind you. I was stunned when you made the comment that you questioned the objectivity of our city attorneys. That's questioning their integrity. That was a shot below the belt. Anyone who's saying that to you in private is part of the problem of what's happening here. People that aren't willing to publicly say something but are sneaking around or spreading rumors, that's the heart of the problem. And then to repeat that at a public function is wrong. I know you didn't want to be the city manager. You made it clear, but you've taken the job, you've taken the money, you have to act appropriately. And to throw some of your own employees under the bus and publicly question their integrity was beyond, I think it was wrong. And I'll leave my comments at that.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I never talked about anyone's integrity. I talked about objectivity and independence.
If you're saying that an attorney, I'm not going to argue with you. If you're saying an attorney can't be objective, you're questioning that attorney's integrity. So, having said that, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. I've met in private with several people on this council. We need to come back together. We're in the middle of monumentous decisions, not just the next city manager, but the water decision, which we're going to be voting on the next couple months. So I think my colleagues agree when I say this. It's time to put politics aside, do what's best for the people of Joliet. That's all the comments I have. Thank you.
Mayor, if I just may.
Yes.
Mr. Dickinson, Councilman Dickinson was there at the prison that night because he stepped in last minute for me because I tore my meniscus and was able to do my duties. So I called him at last minute. So thank you, Don, for doing that.
Thank you, Don.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second?
It's been motioned and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?